Every entrepreneur hits that wall where you feel like more time will fix it. But here's the thing. Time is never the issue. It's clarity. It's choosing the right moves that matter most. You've got a couple of killer opportunities in front of you. The key now is to stop spreading yourself thin and go deep. Pick one or two, go all in, and drive results quickly. You've already laid the groundwork. Now you need to lock in wins that build traction fast. Here's how to do it. Step 1, leverage existing distribution. Who do you already know who can get you the clients that you need? But don't wait for them to prioritize it. You want to make this as easy as possible for them to say yes and push it forward. Find where you can tap into their existing email list, clients, and network to create a relationship that generates money for both of you. Start small, but charge for what you do. Paid equals committed. Then scale it from there. Once they see results, they'll want more of you. The faster you bring results, the more they'll invest in growing with you. Step 2, get quick wins. I love when entrepreneurs think about starting fast and small. Do it and make sure that it's paid. Even if it's smaller, this will show proof of concept and you can move on from there. Don't overthink the big launch yet. Just get some people through the door and give them an incredible experience. You're looking for practice and stories that sell how powerful an experience with you is. Momentum builds momentum. Step 3 is simplify to amplify. The problem isn't lack of time. The problem is too many directions. So simplify. Get ruthless with prioritization. What's the one thing that you can do today that will drive real growth? Focus on that. Once you crack it, scaling becomes a lot easier. Here's what I know. You've got the relationships, you've got the skill, and you've got the passion. Now it's about turning that into predictable, repeatable success. Keep it simple, keep it focused, crush the delivery, and trust that this is the path to building a business that the world deserves. What follows is me coaching Mary through this process. I hope it gets you the momentum that you need as well. Believe.
I am Mindset Mary. I am a high-performance mindset coach, and I've recently become a full-time coach this year. I wasn't planning on becoming a high-performance coach, but what had happened was that I found myself really diving into personal development at a time in my life where I felt like I definitely needed it. I worked very, very young. I mean, I've been working ever since I was 12, really, like I've always had a job. I've always been a hard worker, a go-getter. I took my studies very seriously, and I cared to do well. I cared to check off the boxes of life. And I did. I checked off all the boxes, right? You get your education, you get married, you have children, you have a home, you've got a great career, but that doesn't really mean anything, because if our mindset isn't aligned with our life, what happens is we start to self-sabotage. And it's very, very easy for someone to start self-sabotaging things in their life. And that started happening with me. I had also negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and I decided that they were all true, right? So my actions started to become in alignment with what I believed or perceived my reality to be. And when we don't keep our minds in check, it's going to get us in trouble. And it got me in trouble. I have my YouTube channel. It's Mindset Mastery with Mindset Mary, where I bring people on, entrepreneurs and business owners and thought leaders, and I have them talk about their journey and talk about their mindset and what's really helped them become successful and impactful and also feel fulfilled. And I also have a coaching series where I have clients, I have them record a session with me, and I put out some coaching series episodes for people to see what is it like to be coached by someone who focuses on high performance and mindset. What are some of those breakthrough moments, the aha moments that people experience? How do they create the shift? They come in thinking one way, they leave thinking a completely different way. How does that happen?
We're here with Masterminder, Mindset Mary. We're here for the next couple of days in Toronto and
I am
doing this fun session today.
Yep.
So give us some context and then what's on your mind? How can I help?
Okay, so I guess I was here last April, so just over a year now, and I've been in Mastermind now for about a year, and lots has happened. So I built my YouTube channel, and I've had a lot of incredible guests, built some wonderful relationships with people, and of course, the goal is to establish myself as a high-performance mindset coach in the coaching space and start bringing in clients. last time I was here, I was still working full time. And,
Right. Yep.
and I was trying to leave my career so that I can focus on this full time. And I did. I left my career in April. So now it's been about, I guess, 6 weeks, 7 weeks now that I'm out on my own. And it's been interesting because I always thought I don't have enough time. So if I leave my career, I'll have lots of time to do all the things I want to do in my business. And what I realized is I still don't have enough time. Nobody warned me. There's no warning label for entrepreneurs on like, you'll never have enough time.
Yep.
So I guess what I've discovered in just like doing everything now on my own is like, okay, prioritization has become a big thing, and like, where do I put my focus, and what's the next right thing, and what's the next constraint that I need to remove, and like just a lot of things that I've never really thought through are sort of coming up because time's limited, and I'm trying to scale up the number of clients, and in order to do that, there's lots of things that need to get done. So where do you put your focus has been sort of what has been at the forefront of my mind. And then in terms of like my YouTube channel and building the BizDev shows and having those relationships, that's been really, really actually amazing. I love doing the actual interviews. I don't so much enjoy the editing and all that stuff. That's not really my forte, but I do love doing the interviews. I do love engaging with people and building those connections, and there's been a couple of things that have come out of that. Yesterday, I had a meeting with Rob Dubé, which I told you about. He and Gino Wickman have this amazing group coaching program and mastermind called the 10 Disciplines for driven entrepreneurs who, they want to teach people how to be driven and have peace at the same time by basically tapping into your true self and sort of shedding your layers. So I had a talk with him yesterday, and we are looking at having me sort of be the face of the 10 Disciplines for Canada.
Wow.
Where I would be able to go and do workshops for companies, and then do like a half-day workshop, and then get people to get into the group coaching program, and then administer the group coaching program for Canadians. So one thing that they've noticed is that like because of our dollar, our currency is not as strong. So sometimes these coaching programs can be cost prohibitive. Mm-hmm. And if we can try to establish a Canadian branch and charge in Canadian dollars and attract a Canadian market using a Canadian. Yeah. So that's sort of the angle. That's been really incredible because I've read the book, I've gone to his workshop, I've immersed myself in the podcasts and all the stuff that they're doing, and I actually really like what they're doing. I like the content. I think it really will help entrepreneurs because many of us who feel very, very driven tend to not have a whole lot of inner peace. So it's, I think, something that a lot of entrepreneurs would need or want.
Yeah.
So that's been wonderful. Another person that I've been really connected with is Nick, and Nick has his amazing community. And it's been really nice because this is sort of the first time where I'm actually like staying in one place and engaging and adding value, and it's creating some great connections where now I have people messaging me saying, hey, can we have a talk? I have this mindset thing I'm struggling with. Can I talk? So it's really nice to see when you put in a lot of effort into a community that people start seeing you as like you're the go-to person for mindset, or I have a question, or there's something I'm struggling with. So it's kind of nice to see that people see me as that person that they can go to get help unlocking something or getting out of their own way or whatever it may be. So there's still a group coaching program in the works for Nick's community and the Guardian Academy. So that's another thing that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. I also have coaching clients. I have a Harvard psychiatrist who signed on with me about 6 weeks ago, and that's been going really well. And I think like for imposter syndrome or any imposter syndrome that I've struggled with, I've recently been feeling like just the fact that a psychiatrist sees value in mindset coaching and high performance coaching, the fact that she sees that value is a lot. Like it means a lot to me because she is highly accomplished and she's had a lot of education, and I guess it's a little bit validating to see like this actually can help anybody, right? Like these skills that I have, and one thing that I've noticed with the people that I've been coaching in the last month is they keep saying like, it's just there's something about the way you coach. It makes me feel safe I feel like, you have this unconditional positive regard. You're always seeing the best in me. And I'm just like, wow, it's true though. But because when I'm speaking with another person, I truly can only see the best in them. Like that's truly what I see. So, and it's hard to fabricate. You can't fabricate that. You either see it or you don't. And sometimes you have to help your clients see it because they don't see it, right?
Yeah, lots to unpack there.
Yeah.
Great to hear the update, and I love hearing the momentum. So a couple things come to mind. The first is whenever clients are saying nice things to you, obviously it feels good, it feels validating. Paying attention to the words they use is helpful because it shows how you're different than other people in the space.
Yeah.
So if you keep hearing trust, like that could be part of the branding for you when you explain, I'm Mindset Mary, I'm a high performance coach, but that's what I've heard. Like in your own explanation of what you do, I haven't heard you say the word trust.
That's interesting because another person I connected with was the Why Institute, right? And they have this whole discovery around like, what's your why? What's the why behind why you do the thing you do? And of the 9 whys, my number 1 was trust. So it's interesting to hear you say that to me.
And it makes sense. Like if you told me that, I'd say, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just haven't heard you say it in how you talk about what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's always something to pay attention to when
You're
clients are working with you and they keep saying the same themes, like, maybe I am that. And then when you say it, you'll start to attract people who value that.
Right.
So some people, like if trust is something you're really great at and establishing trust, and I feel I trust you, I can share whatever's going on. For people who trust isn't their main thing, you may not get along with them as well. But the people who like really, really value trust and might not have ever worked with anybody because they don't trust them enough, they'll be like an ideal client for you, right? Because in the world of mindset, there's so many different people. You're gonna have the people who they want a boot camp and they want somebody to yell at them and drill sergeant and tell them that they're a piece of crap and like get off the floor and go do, right? Like they value the
intensity.
Right? Yeah. Boot camp drill instructor person.
Yeah.
Like that's not gonna be you.
It's not me at all.
You'll push people and hold them to a high standard.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean just slack off and let's just cry together. You're gonna help them, but the style is gonna be very different.
Right.
And so the language that you use and how you explain what you do can give people the tools to help share your message even more. The other one was a little long. I forget what the other 3-word thing that you said.
That's what the therapist said. She said unconditional positive regard. You hold an unconditional positive regard for people.
So unconditional is long, positive is great. Regard is a weird word that like people don't, you have to think about it. So you want an emotional word.
Yeah.
But great, if everybody keeps saying unconditional positive regard, Mindset Mary, it's like, okay, that becomes the branding. But I love trust. Like it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard you say it or other people talk about it, but now you can plant the seed with them.
Right, yeah. And I think, why haven't I said it? I think it's because, well, when I did the assessment, the discovery, and it turned out that my why is trust, it made sense because when I'm looking out into the world and the people that are around me, the first thing that's always in my mind is, can I trust you? Can I trust this person? Can I trust this program? Can I trust whatever? But I never thought to invert it back onto myself, saying, oh, because this is such a strong value of mine, I actually have become that, right? I am the go-to trusted person. I've never seen myself in that way.
That's great for your website. Like, why should I trust you?
Yeah.
And then you write in why they should trust you.
Well, what had happened after I did the assessment, the CEO of the Why Institute told me, like, when I read your website, there's nothing on there around trust.
Yeah.
Like, if trust is your why, you should probably change your messaging. And I did. I changed all my messaging on the website so that they know that I'm someone that they can go to and that they can trust.
Yeah.
And why trust is actually the pathway to helping you unlock your entrepreneurial freedom. It's like trusting, I will help you, trust you, right?
And if people don't like that, you're probably not going to work well with them as much anyway.
Correct.
Like if you're only going to work if I'm yelling at you and telling you you're a piece of garbage, then it's like, go find somebody else. It's just not going to work, right?
It's not going to happen.
That's great. Like if somebody looks at the website, the content, how you promote yourself, explain it, should be a magnet or should be a repellent, right?
Yes.
So it's okay to repel the wrong people. It's like, this is too soft and flowery. Like, okay, cool. Like, go work with David Goggins, who's going to yell at you, right?
Exactly.
I I love that. No, that's great. And it's great to hear that that's what's coming back. Not just that it's a core value of yours, but that it's being reciprocated, that you're hearing back from the results of like, hey, like you're the only person I can trust, right? It's a big deal. I love like using the Biz Dev show to make the connections, to open up opportunities, whether those 2 or 3 or others. The Canada thing is interesting.
Yeah.
The key thing with all of these is like what you're doing is hacking distribution. So like if you have to generate distribution, it's a lot harder than if they have distribution. So my first business was a software company, and we started making international distributorships with people who could sell our software. So like if somebody bought or someone was interested in our product from Japan, we were selling there, but we don't speak Japanese. We can't support them properly. We're in completely different time zones. We don't understand the culture, let alone the language. And so how I started actually making decent money in that business was I was selling international distributorships. We sold the international license for Japan and for the UK and for other countries. And that was my first big check, $13,500. And it's like, I am rich. This is great. But I'm making $300 a month, right? So I love the Canada angle.
Yeah.
And obviously you are Canadian and understand the culture and everything.
Oh, and the organization wanted a woman because it was like it was a women's organization of entrepreneurs making like, 1 million plus.
Great.
So it was like, we need her to be Canadian and we need her to be a woman. So Rob's like,
let's go.
Maybe I can go back to them and
yeah, so the key thing is like, ideally any Canadian lead goes through you.
Yeah, so what Rob said is like, he doesn't want to be in the Canadian market at all.
Yeah.
So I would be kind of the face of the organization in the Canadian market.
How do we start generating lead flow from what they already have? So guaranteed they already have people coming to them who are Canadian.
Yes.
It's maybe not their biggest market, but it's usually number 2 after the United States.
Right.
Most American companies don't think about Canada or global because they just have so much demand in the US that that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Most. But as Canadians, we're always thinking like, sell to the American market, sell to the American market. So they probably already have leads that have come in from Canada.
Yeah,
and so
they also have like I guess there's these organizations, like entrepreneurial organizations that I guess they would go to them, and then they have chapters, is what Rob was saying, and then the chapters would run it, like they're always looking for people to run events. So I guess it would be through their membership.
That's great. So any distribution that people already have, so either existing clients or existing leads are probably the easiest. Like people are already writing in, asking about, hey, what do you have in Canada? Okay, how do we organize a system that they come to you? What does that process look like? Is it an email intro? Is it a phone intro? Is it text? Is it?
What I understood was that they were going to like maybe change their website so that you'd have to say like, where are you from? Canada, and that's how they'd be able to filter through the people coming in.
That's great going forward. And like, is there anything that we already have? They already have emails.
Yeah, they do.
And are the emails, like in most email software, it pings where the person joined from.
Yes.
Like you have some deal where they're taking, it's a partnership, they're taking money, you're taking money, right?
Exactly.
Whatever you work out there.
Yeah, like there's a split, and like I don't have to handle anything in terms of distribution, sales, marketing. Like they've already got all their systems set up. It's more like, okay, like here are the people, here's who's interested, you run the workshop, and then you bring them into the group coaching program. You can have up to 50 people per program, and then like there's a I guess a percentage for the program that I would get, and then any speaking engagements and workshops, then that's just all like that's all on me. Yeah.
What I would love to figure out is what did they already have? So going forward, new is great. It's going to take a little bit of time to build the landing page and it's separate from Canada, and like stuff will trickle in, which is great. It's like awesome, and they've been around for a decade or however long.
Yeah.
They have already an email list.
They do.
When somebody joins, it's usually geotagged to what IP they joined from. They can tell what country they're in. So can we send out an email to everybody who's joined our email list from Canada and say, we are launching a blank, right? And first, like how many people do they even have on their email list? But probably
a good amount.
Probably a good chunk.
Yeah.
Over a decade or however long they've been around. Like probably a good chunk that they can't really serve or aren't focused on. And some of them might have moved away over the years, but whatever. If it's still 1,000 people or 5,000 people, or maybe we don't even email the whole list at once, but we have let's send a test to 500 people on the list to say we're going to host a special workshop, Zoom, webinar, whatever.
Exactly.
We're coming to Canada, some soft launch.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking, how do we get business like right now? You know, it's like we're building for the long, which is great. And it's like, it's awesome, all these relationships. And it's like, okay, what can we do so that now in the next 30 days, we have traction and momentum building up, which also, like if you're getting sales, it's obviously good for you, but it's also good for them. It's like, okay, we're going to invest into this Canada thing. Okay, we're already making some sales off of this because we sent a couple emails out to people who we're not going to service really anyway. They might buy an online product or something, but it's worth a question. It was worth a conversation to see.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean you have to be pushy or anything. It's like, oh, we didn't think about that. Right? Because again, most people may not be thinking about international markets. No, and if that works, that could be, again, a model for other organizations as well. Hey, let me run the Canadian division.
Right.
And being a woman may be a pro or not. Like some people may not have a preference. It's just you're in Canada, you care about Canada, you can launch it. Cool, it's another opportunity.
Yeah, and like the most current opportunity that's available right now is the opportunity with the organization for women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So they're for sure looking for somebody. If I can get in and run a workshop for their organization, the idea is that everybody that was in the workshop would commit to coming on to a 10-week coaching program together. So
is that through, like, do they already have their own methodology, or you get to come in and do whatever you want?
Oh, no. I have everything. Scripts, workbooks, like they have a full program. They would train me on how to deliver it. And then I would go and deliver the program and then enroll everybody into the group coaching program. So the idea is run a half-day workshop, give them a taste of the entire program, right? Taking them through like the 3 discoveries and the 10 disciplines. So run them through that in a half day. And then if they like what they learned, bring everybody in onto the group coaching program together.
Great. So, and how did you find those people?
Well, I think they contacted Rob asking for. Because
Rob was through the BizDev show.
And Rob is through the BizDev show.
And then Rob has his own thing, and then he also introduced you to this other organization.
So Rob runs these workshops, right? But this organization, because it's a Canadian women-led entrepreneur organization, they were like, well, we'd like a woman to run it, and we'd preferably like her to be Canadian. So that's where Rob's like,
I might know somebody.
I might know someone. He's like, I have to train you, but maybe you can even like take over the Canadian market, and we focus on the US. And I'm like, absolutely.
And most of the training is pretty easy, and you pick things up super quick anyway. That'll be...
like just the fact that I buy into what they're teaching, and I've listened to all their podcasts, read the book, taken their workshop. Like I like what they're presenting. I think it's something that will truly help entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I mean, you may only need one of these partnerships and go deep with it, and then that could be like the whole business. Until you want to scale and bring on people underneath you, and while building your own Mindset Mary brand, content, coaching, whatever, or 2 to 3 smaller ones that are collectively getting you to where you need to be. But you don't need 20 partnerships.
No.
Right?
No.
And then, so you already have a couple
good ones,
promising ones.
I
It's
do.
just about now it's how do we take these ones. If you want a biz dev show and get more, cool, it's fine. How do you take the current ones and
go deeper?
Like, I think if you ask them, if I called them, I say, hey, what do you think about, we call up Nick or Rob, what do you think about Mindset Mary? They're probably going to say great things. I would think like, oh my God, I love her. She's got great energy. She's got, like, I don't anticipate, oh my God, she sucks, right? You're probably going to get,
not.
Yeah, right? I mean, just naturally you have a great energy and people would want to do something with you and you make them feel great. The opportunity now is how, like, what's the first bit to start building momentum? What's the smallest thing we can do to start generating some revenue from what you're doing?
Correct.
Because for everybody, they love you, but this opportunity is not a high priority.
Okay.
Because they're building their own thing. Like,
of course.
Canada market, if it's fun. I love Mary. She's going to represent the brand well. It gives us an extra blank. But it's like nowhere near, if you had his top 10 things he has to do today,
it's not
like
there.
You're not on there, right? So cool. And that's not that they hate you or anything. It's just that,
I'm on there. The Canadian market's not on there.
well, that honestly, that's probably even closer to the truth. Like I think people are doing it because they like you and they can see you doing something together. They care more about doing something with you than about whatever opportunity it is.
I think there's truth in that.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether you're in their top 10, maybe not, but I think your just vibe is the thing that they want to have more of in their organization and less of this is a crazy commercial opportunity for us.
Right.
At least for now.
Yeah.
So the trick is then how do we start, because if this idea isn't in their top 10 of priority, you started this whole session talking about, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Time management. I have so many projects I need to manage,
there's a
right?
lot.
It only gets more complicated as you get bigger, right?
It's
so
true.
now as they're managing teams of people and all these different opportunities, they love you, but there's not enough of something to like hold on to to say, okay, let's spend more time and energy here.
Yeah.
So like that's the only missing piece is like, what is the thing
Agree.
that is simple,
Yeah.
that is easy to launch, that starts making money, so like you're getting paid and they're getting paid and they're getting some traction, and then you deliver and you're gonna get great comments and people love you, and then you can feed that up to say like, look at the results we're getting here,
exactly.
which you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It's just what is that first project that we need to sink our teeth into to the easiest way to start generating momentum and revenue, right? So for them to do a website and track, it's like now it's multiple people, it's their tech team, it's it's a mess. It's not that it's not gonna happen, but how long do we have to take for that to happen, to go from conversation? Some people just go fast, but a lot of people, they're not bad people or stalling you out. They're just busy with a million things on their mind, and like they would love the support, and it's just hard.
Yeah.
So that then becomes, okay, what is the easiest thing we can do? Like, okay, why don't we just send an email to everybody who came from Canada and say we're launching this?
Yeah.
Or is there some easier thing that we can do right now that doesn't need a ton of people or a ton of planning, or we'll roll it out. Like we're gonna make this big and awesome, and like everybody in Canada is gonna know, cool. And like, where do we start right now to get 5 people in on this thing?
Yeah, exactly. I know, and I've been thinking about that because, like, for Nick, like he's already got distribution. So he has massive email lists. He's got Substack. He's got so much.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the people are there. The thing is with like the program, like the Bumpers coaching program, it's like, do we roll it out like that, or do we start with a small group and test it first, right? Test out the modules, see what some of the feedback is, so that when we do a full-on rollout, sending it to lots of people, seeing if they'd be interested to enroll in the program, at least we've worked out the kinks and we've improved it, and we know that it works and it creates results.
Yeah, always smaller.
Right? Start small, I think. Yeah.
I mean, get paid,
but
start small. So it's not a free trial, it's a paid thing, but smaller.
Right.
Because it's easier to say yes to.
That's true.
And that's all we want is a yes, right? And I learned this the hard way in selling into corporations. There's certain budgets that somebody has the amount to, at your previous job, I don't know if you authorize payments or anything, but somebody's budget might be $50K.
Right.
And they can authorize that. And $51K,
it's a no.
It's not a no, it's a, I have to talk to, we got to send it up the chain.
Right. Yeah, need approvals.
And then it's like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Because it takes so long, and even if they love you, they're fighting and they're they're fighting for you, right? And they're trying to make the meetings happen, and so it's like, okay, how do we? But once you're in, it's so much easier to go deeper. Once your foot's in the door, it's easier to keep walking in.
Right.
So if you launch I would not think about a full rollout because we're working towards that for sure. We're not staying small forever. But like, what's the first little smallest thing we can do together? Because what you're going to do is crush the delivery.
Right.
So he's got all these members, whatever. You're going to take 5 of them. They're going to pay you, and you're going to over deliver. Even if the concept wasn't great, or you let them they let themselves down somewhere, like you're going to spend extra time to make it work for them.
Right.
And then they're going to, just as who you are, because you care about actually helping people,
Yeah.
right? It's not just a business thing. Like you actually want to see them win.
Yeah.
So you're going to make sure that they're happy with what's going to,
Absolutely.
and then they're going to share their wins.
So what about Rob's strategy, which is like for Nick's group, do a workshop, do a 2 or 3 hour workshop Give them an idea of the program, do little parts of the program, little exercises, and then get some feedback.
I would do a paid workshop.
Paid workshop.
Yeah, and then follow up with them.
Yeah.
And then help them, like you want everybody who leaves that to feel, even like contact them before they do the paid workshop.
Okay.
What are you hoping to get out of this? What would be a
Yes.
big win for you? What does success look like for you coming out of this?
I love that.
It's like love you before
Yeah.
they even come to the event.
Yeah.
Then you serve them, not
Good.
obviously maintaining the structure and the model that he gave you, right? But adding Mary Magic inside of it,
Mary
right?
Magic.
To help them, right?
Yes,
You will.
mindset Mary Magic.
So that those, like to send the quick email out to say we're launching this thing is so much easier than to roll out across our whole thing.
Agree.
And he just doesn't want to put in the effort
Yeah.
to figure that out.
Yeah.
Not because he doesn't want to. He's just like, just
Overloaded.
slammed.
Right.
So you make it easy. You start with the little workshop. You have
Okay.
5 people come out. You pre-call them, talk to them. You crush the seminar.
Yeah.
Then you ask them like, hey, how was it? And if they're all saying awesome stuff, that then goes back to the head.
Right.
You say, hey, like, look what these people all said. Like,
Yeah.
man, like I'm not getting that kind of feedback in my own community.
I can even go like right to our private Facebook group and just say, hey guys, we're doing this on this day,
Yeah, I would
Like-
get permission, right?
Yeah.
Get so he's all you need him to do. Like the more you just want a yes, and the least amount of work that
For
they need
him.
to do.
Yeah. Okay.
So like if
Okay.
you could just get him to say yes to a workshop, and then you're going to do all the Facebook and whatever, that's
Right.
even easier than him having to
Yeah,
send
it
an
would
email.
be me doing it all. Yeah, I'll get his permission. I'm sure he will not mind at all. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm serving his people.
Yeah.
And then I'll coordinate it and put it together and have them come and get the feedback and
Yeah.
share the feedback.
Have them make a video. Have them message
Yeah.
Nick. Have them right. And
Yeah.
And it's not sales, but it's just showing like you're not trying to scam anything.
It's more like proof of concept.
Yeah,
like,
like this
works.
is, and I'm willing to work hard on this.
Yes.
And we already made this little thing work. So, okay, so that was the 1x version. Let's go with like 2x.
Yeah.
And then you work your way towards, and all of a sudden now you're in,
a full-on program.
right? And then
Yeah.
like, how do we work more with Mary? Like, how do we integrate her into like, maybe she should be part of every onboarding that we do for all of ours. Like
Right.
that stuff happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're just looking for the first deal in,
Right.
as simple as possible to say yes to for them, for the women's organizations. Okay, like how do you do your first workshop? For the other stuff, how do we send that first email?
Exactly.
And we have ambitions for a huge program,
Right.
and we're going to take our first step. You're almost there. Like you have everything.
Yeah.
They love you. You have the connections compared to like where you were in April or whatever, like didn't know
100%.
anybody and just this idea.
Yeah,
Like it's
like,
all there.
What's the ink list?
right?
And, yeah.
It's all there. The
it is.
connections are all there. They have people who are paying tens of thousands of dollars to be in these programs.
They
It's like
are.
ideal clients are all there.
They're all there.
And it's just like, we got to get this thing, this one, what's the first project?
Yeah.
Because you've done all the work to build the relationships and to establish trust.
Yes.
Like I'm sure everybody trusts you.
They do.
I'm sure Nick and everybody else would be like, do we trust Mary to deliver our program with integrity and ethics and treat our clients right? If I asked them that, I would be shocked if they didn't say yes. So it's like, but what's the problem? I'm just too busy. It's
Right.
like,
That's truly the issue.
that's the problem.
That's the bottleneck.
So it's too complicated.
Yeah.
Like what's the simplest thing that we can do?
Yeah, I love that. And I think that the simplest thing, like we already gave a little like 1 hour or like a 30-minute workshop for free on Zoom in the paid group,
Yep.
in the community, and they all loved it. Like they
Yeah.
did give feedback and stuff on the Zoom call. But I think like to go a little bit more in depth and have people come in,
Yep.
and like I don't know, do we charge or do we just like? I
No,
just
paid.
want to see interest. Like I'm thinking like
Paid.
maybe that's
Needs to be paid.
it needs to be
And we're not looking for feedback.
right.
We're looking for testimonials.
Okay, but don't we need feedback first?
You can still ask for feedback.
Okay.
But what you want to show is this thing is ready to scale.
Okay.
If the video's coming back are okay, I love Mary, she's great, but I'd improve yada yada yada. Then if I'm the owner, like okay, well first go fix all these things before we scale it out.
Right.
Versus Mary was amazing, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to go apply everything she told me into my life, and this
Yeah.
is so helpful. Like oh my gosh, we got to do more.
Okay.
So
Right.
you could then also privately say, hey, like any suggestions for rolling this out, right?
Exactly.
That's fine
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
But the message up is how great.
Awesome it is.
Yeah, how great it is. And like,
Yeah.
they're not getting that feedback for the other stuff. And that's you're taking a little half of 1% of everything that they're doing.
Yeah.
And you want it to be like the best half of 1%
Yeah.
in their entire organization.
Right.
So that they fight for like, how do we got to do more with Mary. This is insane. If she can do that for here, imagine what she could do if we gave her
Right.
this 25%.
Yes.
And then you get so much business that you're going to have to pick between, okay, I can't handle 3 different organizations, right?
Right.
The only thing missing is like that first, we're at the starting line and we just haven't, like the gun hasn't gone off.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we need to figure out is that first step.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for Nick's community, I think I like that first step of like doing something small.
Yeah.
And then getting some testimonials, getting some feedback,
Yeah.
and then showcasing it and showing them like this is worth doing. It's
Yeah.
creating impact, it's providing value, it's going to work. For Rob's, it's kind of, we're still in talks because he needs to reach back out to the organization to make sure like, okay, have you guys found someone or do you still need someone because I actually have someone in mind?
Yep.
And then he mentioned like a few other entrepreneurial organizations that he'd like us to kind of go into to provide those workshops. So for Nick's, I always feel like I'm leading, right? I'm doing stuff, Nick's loving it. I have more control over what I'm creating. And then for Rob's, it's kind of the opposite because it's like that stuff already exists. They're just looking for delivery,
Yep.
right? So I feel like I have maybe less control because it's like, okay, do I make the connections or do I wait on the company to make the connections? It's all under their umbrella.
It's just follow up,
Yeah.
like a weekly follow up with Rob
Okay.
in a loving way. And then whatever the bottleneck is with him, removing it. So the easiest thing to do is just have him make the intro and then you take over.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Like if he has to be on the Zoom call to make the intro with you,
Yeah.
it's already way more complicated than if he just sets up the intro.
Yeah.
And that might just be you saying, listen, I'm happy to just take a call. You want to set up an intro, I'm happy to hop on a Zoom and see if I can help.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Making their life easy. So all he has to do is that, like maybe he sends the email that day. Maybe he still has to do something and check in, I don't know, but the less work they need to do,
The better.
it's like just
gonna-
the easier it is to say yes,
Yeah.
the better.
Yeah.
Because we have everything else established.
Right.
And he'll probably, you give it another 6 months, it's probably going to happen on its own anyway, which is fine. It's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
how do we
it's true.
6 days instead of 6 months? That's all.
Plus, once I start the workshops and start doing them, word
They
will get
see.
around. People will see. People, I should bring this into my organization. I should bring this here.
Yeah.
She could come from
They'll
my
be
company.
like, why is she only doing Canada? You'll do it.
All right, move over, Rob. I'm taking over your market too. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Or Rob finds ways to integrate you into more of what they're doing, right?
For sure. Yeah.
That will just happen
Yeah,
once the
and-
delivery takes over. And you will crush the delivery.
I'm gonna crush the delivery.
You're going to crush the delivery.
Oh,
You
yeah.
will. Yeah. I would trust you to go off and deliver it. There's the word trust again.
I need like an Evan testimonial on my website. Mary crushes deliveries. You
Yeah,
can trust
well, we
her.
can put that up. Yeah, Mary will crush the delivery. Trust her. You want to put that on your website? You can.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I am so taking this video.
Mindset Mary in the house.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you. It's
Looking
been an
forward to-
amazing ride.
To watch me coach another entrepreneur, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. If there's one thing I want to drive home about this upcoming conversation, it's this. Stop overthinking and just start. Whether you're new to podcasting or a seasoned creator, the biggest trap is waiting for everything to be perfect.